Welcome, everybody. We're playing Antagonist via Roll20, and our game master, the creator of Antagonist, James Somerton.
Good morning, everyone, or afternoon as it is. Welcome to the game. This will be the final episode of the Gangs of Hammerbow. So let me introduce our cast slash set of players. First up, we have Erica. Tell us who you're playing, Erica.
Hello, I'm playing Elgrit. Ogre blooded. I'm a thug and heavy. Ready to
Okay.
cause some trouble.
Good deal. And next we have Dan playing LaFlawn.
LaFlawn, proprietor of the Punch Fish, the local watering hole. Socially, I'm on my last leg after a barrage of vile nonsense.
And we will discuss that soon because it is very pertinent to what is going to happen next. But first, we will introduce our final player. Mike, who are you playing today?
I am playing Bernard currently, who is a disgraced leader and very much on the run.
As we concluded last session, the guardsman Lieutenant Valderez was currently in a social tiff with our party. He was attempting to prove slash frame that the party was guilty of using witchcraft to ambush some merchants on the river and steal their cargo. Now, he isn't aware that the characters actually did that. As it turns out, they did. In addition to that, Bernard has been disgraced for his association with witchcraft and banditry. LaFlawn is in the process of countering Valderez's claims by accusing him of they allowed a riot to occur in a neighboring region to the one that the gang controls. And it was during that riot that some of the cargo disappeared and some of the witchcraft happened. Now, Valderez himself, the entire reason he's picking a fight with the party is he was aligned with the gang that was attempting to actually steal this cargo and had it stolen out from under them by the Shattered Hook. So, Bernard being disgraced, and as it turns out, he is a very wanted sage, and this has been uncovered in the process of his framing. This is something that is part of his background, and if he ever gets disgraced, the entire empire turns against him. So he has fled to the secret caves that the Shattered Hook has ancestrally controlled since before this territory became part of the empire. So we're going to start off with him during week 8. So Bernard is hiding out in the caves, and you've kind of been stuck here for at least a week now. I believe you ran here last session, and then we ended the week. And Bernard hears goings on in the cave area. It's a very large complex, but if you explore, you will hear activity nearby.
So I'm just trying to not lose my head in this. And what activity am I going to be hearing because I'm going to try to keep an ear out, but
occasional conversation, but it's filtering in through some of the smaller holes, burrow holes for like rats and whatnot. You hear conversation, occasional digging. It's very spread out though. It's not a bunch of stuff over the course of an hour. It's over the course of several days.
Basically, I'm holding out where I can until I can get words. And like I said, I'm just trying not to end up dead.
Let's move the camera over to LaFlawn and Elgrit. LaFlawn, you're on the verge of having your entire customer base for the Punch Fish wiped out as you're brutally slandered by this lieutenant who started to pressure you with guardsmen going in and paying mind to people that they never paid attention to before.
I guess I'm going to do what any good business owner would do when they're against the ropes. I'm going to lower my prices and invite in the bards to try and drum up some business.
Okay. Not a lot of proper bards in this sector of the city, but might be able to draw in some from the surrounding area. Now, what are you doing about this slander?
Okay, I'm going to be socially cautious. So I will focus on benign conversation with my patrons and make myself seen in my tavern, not doing anything potentially disreputable.
Okay. If you are not doing anything disreputable, what are you doing about the Bernard situation? Your leader has disappeared.
If I remember correctly, our gang has some ancestral caves that we're supposed to go hide out in.
And you know Bernard's there, but you also know that if you're laying low, it's going to be difficult to get word to him.
Okay, I will continue to lay low and rely on other gang members to check in on him.
Other gang members. Elgrit, what are you up to?
I am hanging out with the junior members of our gang, drinking, having a generally good time, treating the funniest people I can meet to some drinks at the Parched Fish. And I am complaining about the goings on and how we're being framed for this witchcraft, and that, I think that what happened is the Valderas guy was cursed when that ship docked, and he's trying to frame other people for the bad luck that's been following him around ever since.
How much are you pushing that narrative?
I'm just over beers making jokes, and I saw this guy. I think he's cursed. I just want to know kind of where this guy is so I know where not to be.
Okay, the week progresses, and yet again, for the fourth time in a row, the Parched Fish is raided by the guards looking for contraband. And this will take the form of a slander attack against Laflawn, as Valderez attempts to ruin his business reputation. And what they're looking for is ale that was stolen and being resold at this tavern.
So, what options do we have? There was no guard action taken. There was a social caution action taken.
The attempts to smear your reputation through your ale supply are very effective. People are abandoning the Parched Fish en masse. Part of that is just to avoid view of the guard, who are just there all the time now. And this is absolutely smearing your reputation. Is that your defense roll?
Yep.
Did you get any successes?
I am a free commoner plus an entertainer, so I'm not sure what my armor level is for social defense. If it's 9 or 10.
Look it up now. In the meantime, are you going to do anything yourself?
I guess I should go back on the offense. So I think I'd used one action to get an additional social defense. So I only have two actions left. Can you
Correct.
spend determination to get an extra one? This is probably my last week as a socially reputable human being. So I might as well go all out.
And what is your determination level?
4.
First off, I'm going to look up whether or not you successfully reduce damage. Known entertainer provides no social protection, neither does free commoner. So you took 3 points of reputation damage just there. And now you want to spend determination counterattack. You have 4. You can gain a seasonal action point, so you can go up to, you've spent one of your 3. You can go back up to 3 for a point of determination.
All right, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do I get a special action for being an entertainer, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to look up what it's called, but it's going to be mean. It's a vicious mockery or something.
I think that's from D&D.
Well, I'm going to do that anyway. Now let's roll 3d10. Ooh, intrigue, honor. That's a 14, 13, 9.
That is 2 successes. I'm going to make a social protection roll for him, see if he absorbs any of that damage. So, he's only had 1 reputation left. As you go to, -2 reputation, he's going to go to 0. So you can wound him, demoralize him, or prevent him from leaving the region effectively.
Let's give him a wound.
Okay.
Social
and you
wound.
also have the option of giving him a conditional wound, which is you can make a demand of him, and he'll take the wound if he does not fulfill the demand.
Why would I do that instead of just wounding him directly?
In this particular circumstance, you probably wouldn't, but sometimes you're playing nice.
No, I'm not playing nice particularly. Just give him a social wound. His incompetence at the docks was on full display, and until he's able to recover, his friends will desert him.
Okay. Once your reputation drops to -2, he's going to attempt to arrest you. What are you going to do? The region or to the cave complex?
The region.
Okay. We thought this might happen, so you can tell us about your new character who will be coming in next game turn.
Laflawn, as his long-established riverman, is going to take a job as a inconspicuous dockhand on an outgoing vessel and sneak off into the night to go banish his uncle's tavern and live far away.
Already pulled that, I believe, twice for various people you've been helping, so you are well capable of doing this. You have a team of smugglers to help you, although Bernard's not much help right now. Okay, Erica, all of the senior members of the gang have fled. The Parched Fish is closed down, but Valdera's harassment of the gang has ceased for the time being. What are you doing?
Yeah, I've been keeping tabs on him. What is his pattern of movement?
He's basically nixed his normal patrols just to come down and harass Laflawn. It's a long way to the Last Hook district from the barracks.
He
Specific
lives
personal
just
office.
to the side of the guard area, right? He has a small out of zone.
Yes.
I've been talking about how I think he's first and, desperate to, pin it on anybody else. So I'm going to kind of keep up my efforts on that. And the guards get their water.
From a well.
Might not work. Sometime at night, I'm going to go find myself a skunk.
You are successful.
I would like to cast Squawking Jay and Chattering Squirrel. So Squawking Jay and Chattering Squirrel is threshold 1 undefended.
Go ahead and roll. Difficulty is 10.
11, 8, and a 13.
So you get a 2-hit success.
I'm going to ask my skunk.
You have the spell open. Maybe you could read it.
Casting the spell requires the caster to catch a small animal and hold it in their hand. Once the incantation is complete, the animal will listen astutely to the caster, allowing the caster to either give the animal a message and a description of both a place and a person to deliver it to, or to ask the animal a question. The animal will behave as a below-average intelligence human until the given question is answered or message delivered. If the animal is unable to immediately perform its given task, it will set off on a quest, keeping its intelligence until it either believes itself to have found the answer to the caster's question and return to deliver it, or believes that it's delivered the message to the appropriate being.
You have to give it either a quest or a message to deliver.
I'm giving it a quest. I want it to stink up Valderaz's front door of his domicile in the wee hours of the night.
I accept your request, madame, and understand that it will be done post-haste. You have nothing to worry about.
I thank him and give him some berries and treats that I hope he will enjoy.
Payment is not necessary until the task is complete, but I consider my duty of utmost importance.
Thank you, skunk.
He marches off. Alrighty. Are you doing anything else for the week?
Am I now the most senior leader of the gang available?
Yes.
Okay.
You know Bernard is hiding out locally, though. Did Laflawn tell people that he was disappearing?
Probably not.
Okay. So Laflawn has just disappeared, possibly killed.
So this gang doesn't lose its territory. I mean, I'm going to try to kind of hold down the fort, so, until we can get some leadership structure back in place. So I'm going to try to create a place to kind of do a little bit of basic transacting so that we can keep our...
You have your hideout. I assume you want a different place as well?
Yeah, is there any place around the Parched Fish that's just like a good bar to hang out at?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of look around for just a good hangout spot that, we could easily meet and mingle and not catch too much attention.
There's one kind of at the entrance to the city.
That sounds good.
Alrighty. Are you taking any actions?
I need to think about it a second.
Okay. Bernard, no one comes for you. And you further notice that the sounds are getting more frequent and more insistent.
I'm going to cautiously, but I'm going to listen to see if it's friendlies to me or if it
Okay.
someone who's not on my side.
You determine that it is neither the guard nor any members of the Shattered Hook gang.
Can't really be running forever through this thing. They're going to find me eventually. I'm just going to greet them, acting like I belong in the tunnels.
They are not in the tunnels. They are poking around outside the tunnels.
Okay. I'm going to try to get a good look at them.
Go ahead and make finesse intrigue roll.
I got one success.
You kind of sneak up, get a good look at them, and you do get a good look. You recognize low-ranking members of Stonemeyer, not the students, but teacher's aide type people, looking around for something. One of them hears something, your foot hits a twig, and they look over, and they call out to you. You're not sure that they've seen you, but they definitely heard you.
Well, I know Stonemeyer. Knowing that these caves are found out if they're around, I'm going to try to sneak past them, in the forest, because I don't really feel like just being executed at the moment.
Okay. Nard disappears into the forest. Does he want to get any messages to the gang at all?
Yeah, I'll set up a drop message. A message, saying that, hey, don't come looking for me. I'm burnt. Save yourselves.
Alrighty. You leave that message and disappear. And your new character will come in next week. Speaking of next week, Elgrit, did you decide on any action?
I think I'm going to follow up on Bernard's story about those creatures out in the forest, because it occurs to me that the gang might need some ready cash, and if there's some actors out there piling up some loot, there may be an opportunity for us to.
Are you talking about the goblins that were looting the town
Yeah,
at the beginning?
yeah. So I'm gonna, go see if I can find where they're piling up valuables.
Do an investigation check. Acumen, intrigue is the roll. And I believe your difficulty is 9. It doesn't look like you rolled very well.
No, it does not. Okay, well, I failed at that spectacularly, apparently.
That is one of your action points. Do you want to do anything else with the other 2?
All right, I'll try again. Oh, that's better. A 7, a 12, and a 9.
That's 2 successes. Okay, so your first time out, the goblin robbers, the ones that were taking unsecured items from the city and moving them outside the city, you can find nobody that will talk to you. However, your second time out, you find a couple people that say they saw the goblins, but they weren't bringing valuables out of the city, they were bringing them into the city. Further questioning suggests that valuables were being deposited in this district, but that is the district controlled by the Charburners, is a gang outside the walls that operates up there. So yeah, the goblins are bringing all the stuff they've stolen to that district.
All right, I think I'm gonna hide out and try to see if I can spot one of them and follow them back to their loot area.
2 successes, you successfully figure out that they are not in fact storing their loot. They are bringing it to the Charburners.
Oh, okay. What's that situation look like? What have they got and where have they got it?
I mean, the Charburners are a gang like you, so they have a hideout that's being stored there. A
Uh-huh.
lot of it looks like trash. Doesn't look like the goblins have a good sense of what's worth what. But there are some valuables like jewelry and such mingled in.
So maybe it'll look worth it?
Problem?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not hurting for cash right now.
Okay. And Valderez, like, how interested would he be in the Blessed?
You heard tale that he's being fired, so he'd probably be very
Oh,
interested,
really?
but he's not going to be working in an official capacity for much longer.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Well, I will wait for that firing and then I will find where he is spending his time. I'm gonna start looking for other opportunities. Is there anything else interesting going on in the city that I'm bonking into? I'm looking for trouble
Investigation
or
check.
other things. I'm gonna strong arm. I'm looking for some opportunities. I'm looking for stuff the gang can get into and do well
Okay.
with. Brawn
Wrong.
intrigue.
Yep.
My brawn is 6 and my intrigue is 3.
That is 3 successes. So you get a lot of information about what's going on in the city. As you recall, there's some big, not really a vote, but they're pressuring the Duke to make a decision on moving funds away from the Navy and to the City Guard. They want to not totally disband the Navy, but it'll significantly weaken it. The Duke is currently making a decision on it, but various people are lobbying various directions. The person most in favor right now is Lord Pentecost, and then there's a bunch of minor nobles tied to the Navy that are lobbying against it. You know that Stonemeyer is up to something. You know that the Charboilers have made a deal with the anti-Pentecost, the pro-Navy nobles, the ones opposing Lord Pentecost. You know that another gang, you remember you completely wiped out your rival gang effectively? Well,
Yep.
Another gang is attempting to assume control of the port quarter, and they are in the process of doing that because it's empty effectively. So they're filling the power vacuum.
Okay. Well, pro and con for the guard and the navy, like either one could go well for us because less navy means we've got more prowess smuggling over the shipping lanes, but more guards mean we have more trouble in our operations. So I'm not sure which one's worse. Let's see. Of actions. I mean, I know what I want to do next, but yeah, I don't have anything else I can do this time.
So we're going to end the week. The following week, I guess you've got nobody in the cave complex, so you don't know what happens there. But
I mean,
you
I'm
have-
running the gang right now. Is any of the gang in there?
No, that is where
Okay.
people hide. And
Gotcha.
nobody was talking to Bernard, so you don't know what's going on there. You have 2 people kind of approach you the following week. Why don't you introduce yourselves, new characters?
Hi, this is Gareth Fogsbow. His backgrounds are he's a duelist of Wildrake, he's a highwayman of the Black Skull, and he's a Huron scoundrel. He's a bit of a, what some would call, a bandit. And he is an up and coming person that's just been kind of just learning his trade.
And so the Shattered Hook probably recruited you at some point, probably recently. You have the same ethnicity as kind of a lot of the Shattered Hook gang that brought you in a while ago, and due to certain emergency situations, they're currently promoting a lot of people through the ranks really rapidly. So we'll say Gareth has recently been promoted. And who's our other new face?
Well, Griffin would very much appreciate a position in a gang, although he tends to stay by himself. He's a former officer in the Legion, and beyond that, spending time the last 15 years in retirement since retiring from the Legion, he's become a fixture of most of the establishments, the drinking establishments around the docks. As such, as a former Legionnaire, he's got just a small group of a small martial business that helps fund his drinking habits. Basically buying and selling local mooks to rent out to various gangs. But he is a pillar of the community, so he does have friends out there that he meets weekly at his establishments.
Okay, so let's call this a weekly meeting at the hideout. You guys are gathered together. Elgrit, do you want to give a rundown on current events for these new gang members?
Yeah.
And you can summarize because we were all here when it happened.
Well, obviously, we've got a lot of stuff going on. Port Quarter is kind of up for grabs. There's an up and coming gang trying to grab territory, but we might be able to grab some or even most of it first. It'd be kind of cool. We've got this weird goblin thing happening, so I don't know if we need to worry about that. And we should probably figure out what's going on with these Stonemeyer folks. And somebody maybe should establish some communication with Bernard and see if he's got any information or any other things that we may need.
Speaking of which, Gareth, you actually were the one that picked up Bernard's message from the drop spot.
Well, I picked up the message from Bernard. I don't think we're going to be seeing him again. He's kind of burnt.
That's not good news.
Well, I wish him best on his endeavors, but this is kind of the life that he led.
What about some of these other matters? You guys have any information?
I've been keeping an eye on Stonemeyer. I don't really have any intel as yet, but I will let you know as soon as something pops up. I don't really have anything on the goblins. He kind of was. It seems like he was just trying to get out before he got found. What he was, he would got executed. It wouldn't have been good for anyone.
All right. You guys have any thoughts on what the best way is to? We should probably try to move in on the port quarter and consolidate some territory there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so what's an overview of the gang trying to take over the port quarter? I do consider the port quarter my personal territory, so it seems like I could go ahead and make some kind of
It was
investigation roll.
recently owned by the other gang, the rivals. So the new gang is coming in from this quarter. There's that Spice Gate, except outside the gate. And their name is Curried Fish. So the Curried Fish are moving in on the port quarter. They've had a week now to get their tendrils in. They haven't really set up yet, but they definitely have a head start. In addition to that, it looks like there's a schism in the guard. Some of them are trying to carry on Valderez's crusade against the Glasswick gang. The others feel that Valderez was a disgrace and are refusing to support him. So the guard's kind of split into two factions. And right now, the faction that actually wants to give the Glasswick gang trouble is a smaller one, but you don't know how long that's going to last.
Where do these guards drink? The faction that's for Valderez.
Probably near their barracks.
I'm going to go ahead and try and recruit a spy inside that group. Is that possible? Or just generally recruit a spy and then send them into that group?
Probably the second one. So go ahead and make a recruitment roll.
That's not great. Is it authority?
Yes.
So 6, 9, 12.
Looks like it's usually 9 in a city. So you got 2 successes.
Okay, so I'll hire a rating 3 spy. Okay, so I spent a wealth on recruiting the spy.
Okay, and he will work for you for this particular week for free because that's covered in the hiring.
All right, I will send him into the people who were standing with Valderez.
It's a spying roll.
It's using his rating, or do my attributes at all come into play?
Yeah, it uses his rating. So rating 3, you add 3 to everything.
7, 11, 13.
Sounds like 2 successes to me. He joins up with the guard and he gets in good with that particular group.
Okay.
And you are going to get continuous information about what's up with that group. Remind me before the end of the week. He's going to have some information for you.
Okey-doke.
Okay, Gareth, what are you up to?
Well, I just said that I would be scouting out Stonemeyer, and I'm going to be taking the scouting action.
Okay, that'll tell you about movement of their people.
So that's
Go ahead and
finesse inquiry, I think.
Yep.
3 successes.
Since it wasn't an investigation action, you don't get any of the whys, but you do get perfect knowledge of their movement and, I guess, military strength of who's moving. So the majority of Stonemeyer isn't moving. It's just this one instructor and a bunch of aides he's collected under him. And they're heading out to the cave complex area. Their military strength is 0. There's just not enough of them to be a military. But
Okay.
they're going out there pretty continuously.
And no one else is doing an espionage.
Dan has hired somebody to do espionage on the pro-Valderas faction of the guards.
Well, I'm going to aid in that by doing some sabotaging defenses.
Sabotaging defenses would be like damaging the wall.
Never mind. Yeah, I don't think I have much more I can do right now.
Is there anybody you want to investigate?
Yeah, I can investigate the goblins.
Okay. There's 2 things to do with the goblins. There's like the gang that they're giving money to, and then there's the goblins themselves.
Oh, I want to investigate the gang because I don't really deal with the Fae if I can help it. I don't want my insides being turned to fire.
That happens. Happened to your brother,
Mhm.
brothers, sisters, daughters.
I heard about it. So yeah,
Okay.
So that'd be inquiry, right? So
You can do an inquiry or an interrogation depending on how rough you want to get.
I will go interrogation.
Your difficulty is 9.
So those are 3 successes. So yeah, I just start roughing up this person.
Yeah, you find out that the Gargoylers have some sort of deal worked out with Pentecost. The people working for Pentecost are meeting up with them about something. And supposedly they're bringing a package to the Pentecost faction. Supposed to help Pentecost gain the influence he needs to influence the Duke.
Oh, looks like we have something we can intercept. I'm going to bring this to the rest of the gang's knowledge.
Okay, it'll be happening at the end of the week.
Oh, the pickup of this, so we'd have to.
Yep.
Okay, might be able to actually intervene, or so it's still this end of the week that we could actually intercept that package, right?
Yep.
Okay, I have one more action I could do. You know what? I'll use my last one to guard.
Okay, who are you guarding?
I will guard. Making sure we don't have something just bite us in the ass. But
Okay, which one were you guarding? Sorry, I missed it.
I think LaFlin.
One is gone. Eric?
Yeah.
Elgrit, what are you up to?
I want to finish decrediting all Valderez's stuff. So I'm going to make inquiries and see if I can find out, the next time a bunch of these guards that are on his side are going to be together in a drinking establishment in public, and I'm trying to figure out what their favorite beverage to share is. I'm going to try to, set myself up so I can cast Celebrant's Flask and get one of my guys to just conveniently make that drink appear on their table.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make the roll for Celebrant's Flask? See how potent it is. So that's a 2-hit success.
The caster inspels a container of liquid they touch, causing the contents to induce strong inebriation without changing the taste or nature of the liquid otherwise. Drinking a single swig from a fully enchanted container requires an individual to roll brawn test or becoming strongly inebriated, giving them disadvantage 3 on most tests.
So it will get them absolutely hammered. It's going to give them.
That is my goal. I just want to get them absolutely hammered in the most public possible place. As many of them at the same time as I can get. And I'm going to tell my guy that's dropping this off that this is poisoned, not that it's just going to make him drunk as hell.
Okay, yes, so that it doesn't get intercepted by your own gang.
Yep.
I believe your gang has some mooks. What were their ratings?
I think they were rating 2.
Go ahead and make a rating to, like someone's drink. Go ahead and make a roll. It's pretty easy. Difficulty 7.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He manages to find like 4 of the guys, and 3 of them are with the pro Valderas faction. The other guy's just, hanging out with them. And they get the drink. One of them is a little suspicious, but the rest of them just drink. They are going to get absolutely hammered. Once they don't die of poisoning, like, he doesn't register that this is like an enchanted flask. It just looks really potent. The guy that was hanging back does also drink.
And I think my next action, I would like to assume control of port quarter.
Okay. And it's an authority roll.
Oh shit.
Good luck.
Oh,
Fortunately, the difficulty is based on the number of holdings you already have, and I believe Eldrick doesn't manage anything else.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to assume control and see what happens. I don't have any authority.
Yeah, you're adding 0. Your difficulty is
Okay.
only 8.
Oh, good. I have 2 9s.
So 2 successes. It'll take 1 month before the new owner can make their authority test to take over the new holder. Okay, so you start now, and you'll finish in a month. It looks like you got 2 successes, which will get you normal control over the holding.
Is that going to cost me 3 action points every week? Am I just sort of like done for the month because I'll have my hands full?
Not necessarily. It depends on how successful the other gang is in trying to assume control. Right now, they have not gotten more than 1 success, which means you're beating them. If they get 2 or more successes, if they beat your number of successes, you got 2 successes. If they get 3, and that's 3 total, so they've got 1 so far, you will have to accrue more successes, or they will take it instead at the end of the month.
One of my gang members second fiddle me?
No, this is not something a minion can help you with.
Okay, and while I'm fighting these guys off, I would like to continue with this Celebrant's Flask. Basically, I just want them to have a reputation as uncontrolled drunkards.
You'll have to actually spread that reputation at some point. Like, you have to take the slander action if you want this to stick, but you're setting yourself up. So go ahead and cast the spell twice more.
Oh gosh. 8, 7, 13.
So that stuff isn't very strong, but
Oh, that one's much better.
ooh, that stuff's potent. That's a 3-hit success for that spell.
A potency greater than any non-magical drink. A single sip induces inebriation, barring a simple test at DC 11.
Those guys are going to get plastered.
So, slander.
That
This would be a setup for next time anyway, because I'm out of actions even for the Celebrant Flask, so these rolls would be for next week, right?
No, sorcery doesn't take like seasonal actions. It's just something you cast in a couple minutes.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and train my spy.
That might be problematic. So,
Oh, I fail.
Okay, so desertion. The minions quit or desert. Technically, you still get the information at the end of the week, but they're leaving your service after that.
I'll investigate.
Anyone in particular?
The Duke that this package is going to, because we can't action on it because we don't have enough.
Oh, you can intercept it. That doesn't cost action.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
intercept.
just going to do it at the end.
I'm going to intercept the package.
So the end of the week comes. The package is supposed to be delivered night. In the meantime, the guardsman that Dan hired gives his report and his resignation, and he says that the pro Valderas group is currently being supported by Pentecost. They want to reignite their investigation of the Glasshook gang, the Shattered Hook, you guys, and he is funding it to some extent. There's a couple other low-tier nobilities that are aligned with Pentecost, where Pentecost is providing material support to the guards. Griffin learns that. Now, how are you guys intercepting this package?
Do we know anything about the package?
Yeah, like, do we know anything about its route? Who's delivering it? How many people?
Goblins are delivering it to a Duke.
Goblins?
In fact, the Charbroilers are delivering it, and not to the Duke, toward Pentecost, who is one step below the Duke. You know the route, you don't know what it is.
How many people are delivering? Like, do we know?
7 or 8 gang members. Pretty sizable contingent for that gang.
We had mooks, we could attack them. I think our mooks are being used.
To manufacture calamity.
Anything
on their route we could use?
They're going through back alleys. If you picture kind of a standard back alley.
My Watchman skill would come into play here because I have been scouting these people.
Too old to get involved in these sorts of things. This is what armies are for, or mooks. Except our mooks are incompetent and preoccupied.
I thought you guys had 2 sets of mooks. Didn't you have a rating 1 as well? Or did you lose
Yeah.
Like I said, incompetent or preoccupied.
Okay, then So the real question is, do we want this package as a group?
I'm not capable of doing anything about it.
Okay. Well, we can use it against this person who's getting it from a reputable people in the future. We're not stopping the package.
And we could have our mooks pretend to get in a fight in one of these alleys and try to draw these guys in, and then send in one of our heavies to lift whatever they've got.
Elgert is the heavy. So when you say one of your heavies, that would be
Okay.
Elgert.
All right. I like the idea of taking advantage of chaos. So, can we figure out any of their route ahead of time, or are they just randomly going to move through?
You know their route, yes.
I want to pick a narrow alley. I want my mooks fighting, like starting a fight with each other just ahead of them in an alley. I think it'd be fun to see if I could get some help of a critter. Just a bunch of chaos, dogs, people, fist fight. I'll just come up and try to help myself to that package and the confusion.
Make your enchantment roll.
9, 15, and 12.
That's a 2-hit success. So, this is the same spell as last time, so you get to assign a quest or message to this dog.
Dog, I would like you to take one bite from each member of this group. Are you up for this?
Oh, geez, lady. How many members of this group are there?
7?
7. Oof. Oof. Woof.
Did you 5?
I mean, if they sit still, sure, but please. That's a lot you're asking of me.
Oh, but you're a big
I'll
dog. I
bite
have
you.
a lot of faith in your skills.
I know, but usually you bite one person and everybody gets upset and runs around.
We've got other people who are going to make these folks upset and run around. I just need you to go into all of that and take one bite out of each one of these people. Your choice about the body part.
I will do my best, but no promises.
Do your best. No, note if your best is good, you can come back and there will be steak. Just saying.
Oh, all right. You have my ear. Okay, so you have your mooks, you have your dog, you know the route. Who's going?
I'm going to come up from behind.
Not going.
Gareth?
I'll go.
So you see the map on roll 20?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm going to start marking a path I'm going to take, if you watch that. Why don't you tell me where you want to ambush them?
Well, there is that little, so you see the gate and you have that little tiny segment of alley between the main road and that first turn
About right there.
here.
Oh, okay.
I think having the mooks fight in that T, and then I'll come up behind. Nice short space. If the mooks spill out from around that corner right as they're coming up, and I come in from behind, we should be able to execute this pretty quickly. Does that sound good? And we're pretty far away from the military district and have an escape route.
Okay, so you're coming up behind, and we're using mooks to distract them, right?
Well,
That's
what
correct.
I'd like the mooks is to pretend to get in a fight with each other and try to draw this group of 7 into the fight with them. Send the animal in right when the chaos really hits, and I'm going to go after the person with the package myself.
I will actually aid in the distraction using my gift of gab, gossip and stuff like that. And I'll try to get them to actually pay real close attention, do a little bit of hysterical acting like these are much worse than the mooks they are.
Is Gareth pretending to be caught in this, not a member of either group?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's some poor merchant citizen in the middle of this yelling hysterics.
I'm like,
Alrighty.
aren't you going to help me? This is going to ruin me.
So you guys get all set up and you're ready to go. And you're waiting. It's deep into the night, but you know this is supposed to happen around midnight. And then you hear from down the road yells and cries and sounds of a conflict.
Things are not going as planned, is what I'm hearing. Well, I suppose we have to go toward the noise. See what's up.
You explain to the mooks that their big acting break is canceled, and you head down the road and you see a bunch of tiny cloaked figures attacking a bunch of people you recognize as charboilers.
Oh, I'm gonna see if I can figure out who's got this package. I'm going for it.
You don't see a package. You see the 8-ish gang members that you were expecting. You see the tiny cloaked figures causing mayhem for them. And then you see another cloaked figure that's not as big as the gang members, but not as small as the attackers.
And nobody looks like they've got anything.
Nothing you would define as a package. They've got weapons.
All right, I'm going to zero in on the cloak guy.
Okay, so the mid-sized cloak guy is about 4'5". It looks like two of the gang members are kind of keeping him in place.
Oh, he's the package. Gonna grab him, gonna run. Go dog.
Well, seeing how the package is apparently grabbed, I'm going to try to just disappear out of the situation because I'm just a helpless person, and this is way too violent and weird for me.
Just to clarify, Elgrit has stated her intention to grab the package. She has not did it yet.
Yeah, I might need help actually getting to the package.
Oh,
I feel this package is protected.
I will come up from behind on one of the people guarding the package, and I will.
I could be wrong. This might not be the package. This may
You know
be
what?
some.
I'm following your lead on this, and I'm going to
you take off ahead of your gang and move through. And as you're going, one of these little cloaked figures turns and screams at you and throws something. It looks like a bottle. Probably going to throw it at Elgrit. So it grazes you and it shatters, and you get covered by this weird sparkly dust, Elgrit.
Oh, crap. I'm just going to try to barrel through these guys, check this kid, and run.
Make a brawn roll.
Oh.
Something about this whole scenario strikes you as hilarious, and you start to giggle as you're running through these guys. You got a 2 success hit. So you're feeling a little giggly all of a sudden, and it's a little distracting. So one of you is going to take the lead, either Gareth or Elgrit, to grab this kid. So choose who's going to take the lead, and the other person is going to assist them.
Okay, Gareth, take the kid.
I'll take the kid.
Run, dude, run.
Make either a brawn finesse roll or a finesse brawn roll.
I'll do finesse brawn.
Elgrit, make one of those rolls to assist.
I got 2 successes on mine.
Unfortunately, because you're distracted by the giggles, you do not end up being any help to Bernard. Bernard does manage to get a hold of him, and throw him over your shoulder, because Elgrit, as much as you're not helping right now, you can probably carry the kid faster. In response, the guards are going to lash out at you two.
Dog should be biting right now. That was the mission. Is it doing its job?
It's kind of confused. The mooks are just staring at you because they didn't receive orders, and this was not according to the plan. And they're rating 1.
Hard to get good help these days.
So the first guard lashes out at Elgrit. What's your physical defense?
10.
That is 2 successes. This hasn't come up before, but Elgrit is ogre-blooded, which means that normal steel weapons do not affect her very well. So, despite not wearing any armor, Elgrit has a protection rating. Roll your protection. Just 3d10. I believe the 8 succeeds. So, the blow mostly bounces off, and you take 1 point of damage to your health. But that is not enough to force you to drop the kid. The other guy is going to attack Gareth. Ooh. Gareth, what is your personal defense?
Not 10. This ain't looking good for me.
He does a heavy swing and manages to do 4 points of damage. Go ahead and make a defense roll. Nice. I'm guessing you're not wearing armor, but you get a success regardless.
1 success.
Okay, so instead of 4 damage with this big heavy maul that he was swinging at you, he does 3 damage. How much health do you have?
I'm at like 1 HP left after that. I'm not a real fighter.
Good thing for you, your action was to get the hell away, because he almost brought you down. If it wasn't for that something you're wearing deflected a little bit of the damage.
Well, yeah, I actually have a lucky cloak, and he probably hit the clasp as the cloak just kind of went flying.
Ooh, and it's a good thing you guys have all that spare thread back at the hideout. Okay, so you guys escape, Gareth barely with his life, and you guys are fleeing with this kid over your shoulder, Elgrit. Your gang finally comes back. The dog has not left. The dog is just harassing everything. You said bite people, and it's just biting everything indiscriminately because it can't tell the difference between the short people and the tall people.
Well, I gave him a max of, I told him 5 was his, so hopefully he'll call off, but like if he comes and finds me later, steak it is.
He hasn't yet, and you've got 2 people looking very dangerous chasing you.
Gonna be looking for places to duck and cover. I'm not sure the person over my shoulder is gonna be cooperative, so I'm not gonna bet on silence. So mostly I'm just gonna be trying to
actually
get away.
Putting up a huge fight. And now that you have him, you know that it's like a kid, like a 10-year-old.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, hey kid, I mean you no actual harm.
Your pursuers, once you join up with your main force, they stop pursuing and like call for help. At some
Right.
point, you notice that the short things are following you. You eventually manage to lose them because they're still in their tiff with the gang.
I think it'd be a good time to disappear, and is there any way I can get into a cave entrance? Can I blindfold this kid and can we go disappear in our home territory?
Do you want to go to the cave or to your territory?
Maybe our territory. I just want to find a place to hide.
You run for a while through the streets. There are some guards, but because you're moving as a large group, they can't really do anything to stop you. And eventually manage to cross to the Glasshook on your barge. So you guys get
Okay.
back to the Glasshook district. Completely exhausted because you've been running all night. Gareth is injured.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we've got places that have like underground tunnels so we can go in one building and end up in another.
Not here now.
I am an opportunist, so I'm gonna go to the quickest, easiest place to hide where I don't think I'm being spotted. I don't know if I'm being followed, so I'm not like crazy about maybe taking someone right back to my nest.
I don't think going right back to base is good because, in case we are being followed.
How long are you hanging out in your temporary hideout, which is presumably just an abandoned base?
Long enough to treat Garrus' wounds as best we can.
That'll take
Oh,
3 weeks.
3 weeks might be good enough. At least they'll let things cool down a bit too.
Feasible to hide out in this place for that long, particularly if you're keeping a kid there and you have, 8 people with you. This is like a temporary hideout for tonight.
so let's have the main group trickle out. I'm gonna talk to the kid and kind of see what the deal is. I mean, I'm guessing he's the blessed because that would be what the rumors would lead me to think. I'm not gonna say it. Just
Mhm.
gonna talk to him.
He doesn't have much to say. He says that his new mom or his new dad was taking him to see a friend of his, and then his other friends attacked his dad and his friends, and then you grabbed me.
I'll ask him questions like who he is, how he got here. I'll tell him that I heard that, he had been kidnapped and we were trying to get him to a safe house, but that doesn't seem like the actual situation. So could he help me understand?
Oh, well, golly gee, I wasn't kidnapped. I don't know. Maybe originally my parents died. Then my friends took care of me for a while, and then they couldn't take care of me anymore, so they took me to my foster dad. Then he took care of me for a while, but then he said he couldn't take care of me for anymore, so he was going to pass me off to a new foster dad. And then, well, I guess I was kidnapped because you kidnapped me.
Huh. Well, do you know where you want to be?
I wanted to be with my first foster dad, but he didn't want me anymore. And I don't know if I want to be with my new foster dad because I don't know him.
And out with us for a little bit while you figure things out, and maybe we'll try to help you get where you want to go.
Okay, maybe. Okay, so that is your conversation with him. He doesn't really know much. The night passes. The new week happens. People can recover. For those that were damaged, you can recover 1 point of damage. You use sorcery, you can recover 3 points of threshold.
I'm gonna ask this kid what he thinks about, anything about boats?
No,
Have any interest in boats?
not really.
I might be able to get you a job on a ship if you want to spend some time learning a trade.
Oh, well, sure, I guess. Probably better than what I was doing.
Do you have any ships going out that our gang controls that where he could kind of learn the ropes without a lot of people knowing who he is or how he got there or why he's there?
You have friends with ships, but other than that, you just have one ship, and it doesn't
Okay.
go anywhere unless you're going somewhere.
I might take this kid night fishing on our ship and just see what I can teach him about the water. See if he's got any aptitude at all and kind of get a sense of like what he
Where are
can and
you
can't
putting
do.
him right now?
I'm a big human being. I'm guessing cloaked. I could probably carry him under my cloak without anybody seeing him, right?
You can try.
I'm going to tell him I'm going to try to take him to a safe house, but since I don't know him that well, I would kind of prefer that we keep it a secret. So, does he mind just hanging out in my cloak for a little bit? And we'll take him someplace safe and get him some food.
How do you smell? But okay, sure.
Make sure he's fed. I think, and going to make some guesses about his nature.
So you take him
Okay.
back to the hideout eventually, smuggle him back.
Planning on using Shadow Stride at night to go someplace unseen.
You will have to leave before that. This place was abandoned at night. It will not be abandoned during the day.
Okay. All right. Well, I will just not worry about the enchantment and put him under my cloak and go for a walk and try to get him to a safe place.
All right. You get him back to the hideout. People notice that this is not the nice part of town, and nobody does anything. And they certainly don't see who it is. Just know you have some formless under your cloak. Okay. Anybody else? This is the start of a new week. Your action points recover. Your health recovers a little bit.
I'm just gonna help try to get this kid back to where we're taking him because I'm still kind of trying to keep everything together.
I'm guessing this city is about to erupt like a hornet's nest over this, so I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground.
Do you want to take the investigate action or anything like that?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. I have full action
I
points
will
now.
second fiddle to that.
Well, I play second fiddle to you.
Before you do that, the freed fish have made some progress on taking over the port quarter. They're currently tied for taking it over. They're not losing, but they are currently tying Elgert.
I could try and take it over. I've got a good authority. I already have a holding. That'll make it more difficult.
Dan's going to do that, then he can contribute successes. Go ahead and do your investigation. The 9 is a success. It's going to lower your difficulty by 1.
What's the target on this? Is
So it's 8 now.
1 success.
Sorry, what were you guys investigating again?
What's going on in the city? I mean, we just basically kidnapped what I highly suspect to be the Blessed, which we're gonna have to get off our hands somehow really quickly. What the heck's going on around that? Yeah, we pretty much stole a nuke.
Would anybody be interested in trading the nuke to the Duke so that if he's willing to turn against his Pentecost, we could leverage him to turn against the guy who's been attacking us?
As ogre blooded, like serving up a kid to certain death just doesn't appeal to me all that much.
This kid is abomination.
Oh my, by some people's light.
Let me give you the results of your investigation, which are not great because you got 1 success. You don't hear anything about the Blessed. You do hear that there was a scuffle up in the military district, or actually, I guess it was the Nightway district, between some charbroilers and like some other gang that nobody knows about. At some point, while you're investigating, somebody attempts to make contact with Gareth. They want to cut a deal. Because you're kind of busy at the time, you get this second hand from one of your dumb mooks, and so you don't know what the deal is about, and you don't know who it is. They want to meet you at that tavern that you guys kind of took as your secondary hangout place later this week. With regards to other things, there's a bunch of factions around the city trying to gather up influence and trying to influence the Duke. You know, the merchants guilds are getting involved with this. The guards are kind of getting involved a little bit because they're the ones that are going to get the extra funding, but they've got their own kind of schism going on. And, you know, Pentecost is actually gathering more influence than all of his rivals combined, but only barely. So he's working against the guild, the navy, and the various minor nobles that support the navy.
Can I get word to Bernard?
Cannot find Bernard.
I'm gonna try to find a safe place for this kid, because, like, I don't really want to serve him up to anybody, but I also don't really want to hold on to him. I'm gonna go into a very private space with this kiddo and cast Reveal Enchantment. 10, 13.
That's 3 successes. Casting the spell infuses all magical effects in the immediate area with a scintillating green aura perceptible by almost anyone. But you went off to be alone, so nobody sees it except for you and the kid. He is glowing vibrantly. However, because you are so masterful with magic, you're able to make it so only you can see this glow. It is bright. And it is unknown in nature. So it's not human magic.
So I know through my connections any nice little islands with maybe some nice little farms with maybe not a lot of people. And they're kind of nice. I probably don't know many nice people, but maybe.
The only island that you really know is the one that your cave complex.
I guess I'm just going to try and assume control of the port quarter. 3 successes.
Yeah, it looks like your gang is kind of earmarked to take control. You guys now have 5 successes to their 2. Griffin, did you want to work on anything at all?
You mean Gareth?
Yes, Gareth. Gareth, go ahead.
Well, there was someone trying to meet with him, right?
Yes.
Or was that me? Did you get the names
No,
mixed up then, too?
It was not you.
I'm gonna meet up with the person who's trying to meet up with me.
Okay, you meet up with this really shady looking figure in the tavern that you guys frequent, and It looks like they're trying to be super discreet and not necessarily awesome at it, but they want to meet with you kind of in a private area.
Is there a private area that I would know about in this
Yeah,
place?
you could use the back room of the tavern
Okay.
if you wanted.
I simply do that, and then I just have the bartender send a message to the person to actually meet me in the back. I don't acknowledge them until I'm already in the back room.
So you are much better at this discreet thing than they are. After a little bit of waiting, they come back to join you. They push off their hood, and it looks like they've got a signet ring indicating that they are a minor noble. These are people that have earned their nobility, or their families have earned their nobility. They weren't born with it.
I do a respectful nod, like greetings. Shall we get this meeting going? Because we're both busy people.
Indeed, and I'd rather not spend too much time here. Gareth, is it?
It is Gareth.
I understand that your gang, he sits down, has been in a scuffle with certain factions within the Guard. I represent a group of people that has an interest in prolonging this conflict. We understand that you weren't doing too well.
That's also a possibility.
We'd like to provide you support. A little bit of here and there, a little bit of need people if you need favors done. I represent a group of people that is willing to make it happen as long as you continue causing trouble for the Guard for, say, the next month.
Okay, a little tit for tat. That can be appreciated. And if you have any certain directions you need the chaos directed.
Actually, what you are doing right now, perfect. You have made them look ridiculous and ineffective.
For about a month, okay. Looking over, I'm trying to see if they're actually on the up and up about this. This could be a setup.
It could. Make a intrigue roll. All intrigue.
Okay. Would my gossip give me advantage on this? Because that gives me advantage
I'm
on.
going to say yes. The difficulty for this test was 11 because you're going as his defense, and that's his thing.
Okay.
But you did get one success, which is enough not to draw the wrong impression, but you can't get a read on it.
I don't see a problem with the possibility of that. Chaos might continue. I try not to give any definitive yeses or nos while I'm talking to them.
Consider this a token of the people I represent's appreciation for your cooperation. And understand that once this is all over, we will, of course, make sure the Guard abandon their tiff with you.
Appreciate it.
He pulls out a gold koku, and to give you a quick rundown on the currency of this world, there's 3 types of currency: copper mon, which buys enough food to feed a person for the day; a silver bu, which will feed a person for a week; and then there's the gold koku, which feeds a person for a year.
I nod in appreciation, and I give him a nice firm handshake.
He shakes your hand and says, "Words are the start. Action is the next step. My associates will start providing you influence as soon as you make your first move."
With that, I make sure he leaves first. I leave my own way, take the gold cuckoo, and I get back to the gang. I make sure that it's wrapped up in something so it's not visible because I don't want to become a victim myself.
Okay, so you get back, and once you're at the hideout, you hear from your gang that the Guard, after last week's break, has resumed its excessive patrols of the Glasswood border. Your mooks don't know the difference between which faction of guards is doing it. They just say, "The guards are still on us. We got pinched last week."
That is part of this job. I mean, we have to be better, but I have some work and I need to talk with some people. But
okay. The other guys are back there. What do we do with this damn kid?
I'm going to talk with Elgrit and
I
Griffin.
think we need a safe place for him to finish growing up, out of the way.
I meant today, but whatever. We'll just play more games with him. And they start street gambling.
I mean, he's learning a valuable skill if he's learning how to gamble in this town. So, and this is in the back office. I assume we have one.
This is your hideout. You don't have an office anymore. Your tavern got shut down.
I cautiously eye Griffith, right? And Elgrit. You would not believe the business proposition that I just came across.
Oh, do tell.
One of the minor nobles in town wants us to cause chaos with the Guard.
Ooh,
Promised to give us
something to do with that whole snafu between the Navy and the Guard. I suppose it's the faction that's trying to get the Guard funded.
Yes, and this is when I just kind of use what would be sleight of hand. I just kind of produce the gold cuckoo. This was now, and then they're also going to help us get rid of the guards inquiry at the end of the month. It's just a month job.
Didn't someone just get nicked? Is this one of those carrot stick situations?
Well, we are criminals at the end of the day. We can't really. We might be
How
able
do
to
we
get them
feel
out.
about this? So if the guard gets extra funding, I mean, I guess, what do you think? You think this will, if the guards look bad, you think they'll fund them more? If they look bad, you think they'll give
I-
them Navy, thinking the guard's too incompetent? What do you think will happen here?
So, quick reminder, Lord Pentecost is not a minor noble. He's the one that's trying to get the money for the Navy moved over to the City Watch.
I was like, no, the navies will be
There's a good chance he's on the Navy side.
maybe yes. I wasn't trying to. Didn't want to sour a deal. At the very least,
No,
this is going to fund us.
I
for
like
a
the immunity angle, and the Navy stays as is. I mean, the power structure stays as is. This could be beneficial for us.
Stagnation is where crime profits.
Right, and if we get immunity out of the deal, we'll be the kings of the gangs.
And we can use this to get some more help.
I could go either way.
At the end of the day, we could always change allegiances if need be. I don't see a better proposition at the moment.
Okay, so what exactly is involved?
Oh, we just need to make the guards look like they're incompetent.
But they've been so competent up until now. That's going to be difficult.
Well, I just glance over to Elgar. Well, we kind of did something up in the night way that might have changed the disposition of the guard. And we're never going to do work around the glass hook. We're going to do work elsewhere.
I'm going to try to find a dyer and a soap maker. I need a big hunk of soap that's just totally imbued with black dye. My end goal is to enchant the soap and to have that soap, assign it to go wash every guardsman clothes at 2 a.m. that it can find.
You want the soap to wash guards?
To wash guard clothing. Any unattended guard clothing.
Alrighty, make your roll. Looks like a fairly effective piece of soap. The soap gains not sentience exactly, but a rudimentary ability to act on its own and flies off to go wash unattended guard clothes.
I will wait the results.
In the meantime, the guards are continuing their pressure on the Glasshook gang, and it's going to end up being a social attack by several guardsmen within the anti-Glasshook faction.
So the guard would be considered an opponent, correct?
Yes. There are two leaders of the faction, so they're basically lieutenants that are causing you problems.
I'm going to see if I can't pit them against each other and vilify one in the eyes of the public, spreading rumors how they are misappropriating their position of privilege, how they're against people. I want to vilify one of them.
So that is 2 successes. So this guy, Lieutenant Eduardo, is slandered for misappropriating resources in their continuous crusade on the Glasshook that produces very little but low-level criminals, and he is taking some flack, particularly from the anti-Valderez faction, people that were responsible for kicking Valderez out of the military. Eldred?
Oh man, this is a bad time to have a nuke. I'm gonna try to figure out maybe some of the natural talents or aptitudes of this kid, and I'm gonna look for an out of the way place with very few people where this kid could go, where maybe some of those people don't have a dim view of magic. I mean, maybe some retired rogues or criminals. I mean, a farm, an island, a boat. I don't care. I'm looking for a place where this kid can quietly grow up out of sight and not come into play for a few years.
Your best bet would be shipping him out of the Empire.
I'm going to start laying the groundwork for that. I'm going to talk to Gareth and see if he might be persuaded to use some of that gold to get this kid out.
If it's in the best interest of the gang, I'm not against it.
Well, I mean, if we're caught with this kid,
it's death.
So you spend the coin hiring a ship to take the kid and deposit it on a trade ship at the edge of the Empire and just leave him there.
I'm looking for a place that he can go live, somebody that'll finish raising him up.
He can get out of the Empire, but the ship, there's no trade between the Empire and the upstart nations. So you need to get him to the border, and then he'll have to make the rest of the journey on his own.
Basically, I'm going to tell him, kid, if you stay here, there's going to be chaos around you. There's something special about you. I'm going to try to a couple more years. I think this is your best chance. You're just going to have to figure out what you want to do.
I'll go.
All right, just going to set him up as best I can, get him on a ship, give him as many pointers as I can, and cross my fingers.
Okay, you do that, and meanwhile, the guards harass the hell out of you. Since Eldred is currently the highest ranking member of the Glasswick gang, being the only survivor from the original leadership, there's wanted posters of her all around the Glasswick quarter, and she is generally being called, a murderer, a witch, somebody who trucks with witches, whatnot. It's not taking really well, but there is 1 point of reputation damage. Why don't you make a reputation protection roll? Oh, so close.
Uh,
Okay, you take 1 point of reputation damage as a result of this concerted effort by the two guardsmen. You do get the kid out of town, and the week ends.
Are any of these guards showing up with black splotches on their uniforms or without uniforms or anything? Am I seeing is a soap?
You made a really capable piece of soap, so it had a rating 4 in soaping things, I guess. It was moderately successful. It looks like it didn't get any of the leaders, but some random guardsmen have dyed clothing that has not been washed out or replaced yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to make them look ill-kept, incompetent. I mean, we already got a bunch of them drunk, so really just attacking them is not great. Want to keep at.
And particularly Gareth is attacking them as not great. So it is the following week.
And what are the implications of owning the port quarter?
It will be a holding for you.
And it brings in income. It's
Probably
like
a criminal. Yeah, there'll be a criminal holding. So right now, the status of the port quarter is you guys have been fighting for it for 2 weeks. So in 2 more weeks, it'll be decided. That's also when the decision by the Duke is supposed to be made.
Is there a guard
yeah.
station around? Far away from us is actually probably better.
Yes.
Any made of wood?
Sure.
I like this magic thing. I might as well go all in if I'm gonna
You're not bad at it.
hey, gonna summon servant and send it off to light one of these wooden things on fire. That's a 12, a 7, and an 8.
1 success. The enchantment lasts half the time. You're casting this at threshold 1, which means it only lasts for a scene, so it lasts half a scene. It does not make it to the guard thing.
Again?
Yeah.
I want to find the most flammable place. Pile of papers, thatched roof, whatever. Just a guard tower, very public, very on fire.
Go ahead and roll.
8.
No, it's not going to
9,
manage
and
it.
10.
It does not have enough time.
And harassment is failing. All right, well, I'm wanted right now. What else can I do? I'll have to think about it.
While you're doing that, the guards are going to continue their campaign against you. One of them is starting to drum up a general antithesis towards you in the Glasswick district. They know that if they get rid of you, these guards will stop harassing them. Go ahead and make a social protection roll. So you're going to take 2 points of reputation damage.
Ooh, this is not looking good for me. All right, what can I do to bolster my reputation? Because if I take one more hit, my reputation's dead.
Is there a way that I could actually interpose?
Yes, you can take the guard action towards Eldred, and that will let you interpose anytime.
I will do that.
So that's 1 action point. You don't have to roll anything until she's attacked.
Griffin senses that the guards are going to make a play for the first. I guess is the other gang doing anything to try and take control of the port? Because we were up 5-2.
But it's significantly less effective than what you're doing.
Last time I checked, it was 5-2.
Yep. And you want to see what they roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they managed to make some progress. It's 5-4 now.
All right, and then it'll be this week, and then we'll have one more week next week, right?
Yep.
I think I want to recruit some mooks.
Okay. Acquire minions is 2 action points, I believe.
Okay, so 2 successes. That's reading 4.
Do you have a rank 4 wealth?
No.
And too bad you don't have that Koku.
Oh.
You can hire rank 3 guys. Because that's as much.
I'll hire rank 3 guys. And I think, can I sacrifice one of the rank to give them like armor or something? Is that how that works?
I think that's more with troops.
Oh. Well, I want to give them fancy hats with the extra point.
You can't afford anything nice, but you can call in favors to get a fancy hat made.
There. My Mook Chief has a fancy hat. That's what I get with my extra roll.
Speaking of favors, you received a message that people want to meet with you again.
I'll meet with them.
Griffin, was there anything else?
Well, I'll look. I have 1 action point left. I'm not sure what I want to do with it.
Okay, Gareth, you end up meeting with the guy. We know your friend is under a lot of fire. We want you to know that we're spreading some money around the Glasshook to try and buy back the people's favor. If that happens, we want you to know that was us.
Well, thank you for your time.
So Eduardo is going after you because you picked a fight. So they didn't really know about you until now. Now that you've made yourself known, they're going to start spreading rumors about you. And they don't know much about you, so they just make stuff up. They want you on suspicion of fires that were lit. And it looks like they got one success. So go ahead and make your social protection roll. So you take 1 point of reputation damage, and the week ends. And due to the interference by the minor noble faction that's allied with you, everybody in the Glasshook gang gains 1 reputation.
Nice. I'm back to where I started.
That almost
Uh,
did.
I'm going to vilify because they're attacking an innocent citizen.
Okay, yeah, they are, according to you. That's definitely 1 success. Nope, you just don't have the wherewithal to really do damage to the guard. And you are still guarding Elgrit until you take an action. So that'll carry over to next week.
I'm going to
Sweet.
spend my action just to train my mooks.
Okay.
I think I fail, but I think they don't desert me.
Yeah, they don't desert. We're starting a new week. Currently, Griffin is taking over the port quarter at the end of this week. He has the most successes put into it right now. So I'm going to roll for them first. That's actually 2 successes. So they're beating you now, Dan.
Okay, this is next week. So they're at 6 and I'm at 5.
Yes.
Okay. I will spend all 3 action points doing this. I need 2 successes.
1 success will tie them, 2 successes wins.
So I get 1, so we tie.
Unless somebody interferes, the contest will continue to next week. In the meantime, you guys receive a report that the cave complex has been infiltrated and taken over by some people from Stonemaier.
Oh, well, there's something I can do. I think I'm going to go into that cave complex and start doing some pest control.
How are you going to go about that?
I presumably know these caves really well. These guys are not tough, right?
No, but there's a lot of them.
I'm just going to start catching them alone and making them dead.
Okay. In the meantime, what is Gareth doing? What is Gareth doing?
I'm doing 2 main things. It's going to be fulfilling the contract and messing with the guard and protecting my ogre-blooded friend. So another round of slander. That is 2
Definitely
successes.
2 successes. And they block none of them. So Eduardo, he's not disgraced, but you ruin his reputation to the point where he's probably going to have to back off. Now you can wound him, or you can demoralize him.
Would demoralizing keep him on there, but he most likely would get like demoted?
Demoralizing basically makes it really tough for him to operate. He'll get disadvantage 2 on anything social he does.
Yes, I will do that because the guard is actually. I'll do that.
Okay. He's going to respond and try and mess with you, but he is now demoralized. What's your social defense?
My social defense is 10.
1 success. You would have actually gotten 3 successes if you hadn't demoralized him. So good move on that. So go ahead and make a protection roll. Nope. So you do take 1 point of reputation damage.
Okay.
Then the other guard, well, Elgrit is preparing to storm the caverns.
I'm just gonna sneak around in the dark and make people disappear, maybe by 1s, 2s, or 3s.
While you're preparing to do that, they're going to continue to slander you. What is Elgrit's social defense?
9.
That is 3 successes. Mike, pick your interpose.
I get to make a roll, right?
Yep, it's the same as a vilify.
2 successes. I don't think yeah.
So you can opt to take the 3 damage.
That will, yeah, it's going to endanger me, but I will take the 3 damage.
Okay, because I'm guessing Elgrit did not have the 3 to take.
Nope.
Now we're both in the danger zone.
But you've still got that assistance from the nobles will be coming in to help you at the end of the week. Okay, Elgrit, you are making a move on the cavern. And what you find when you get there is that this is a full-on military occupation. There is enough people here in the caves to constitute a military unit.
Oh, Jesus. And
Which
I
is in the range
get
of
my
100.
hands on at least one of them so I can at least force them to tell me what's going on.
How are you doing that? What's your mechanism of action?
I know the caves better than anyone, so I'm going to try to wait until one's walking off alone, and, you know, if I can knock him out or drag him off.
Brawn, finesse. Do you have unarmed savant?
Yep.
You're going to have advantage on this?
What I'm good at.
2 successes. You nab one of these guys, and you start interrogating him. They're like, we can't tell you, we can't tell. Oh, right, I'll tell you. One of the professors at Stonemaier was looking for some herbs in this area and discovered some sort of like great magical power within the caves.
Oh, crap.
And all hell broke loose when one of his students blabbed. Now all of Stonemeyer is occupying this place.
Ugh. I'm gonna at least slit this guy's throat, dump the body, and then how is this cave system set up? Is there any way can I collapse part of it? Can I save any part of our hideout from this present?
It's way too huge.
God damn it. Flood it?
As much water as is going to go in is already in there.
Oop.
I think everybody's out of action points.
Yeah.
So everybody gains 1 point of reputation from the assistance from the nobles.
Are you back to being semi-healthy on that?
Yep. I have 3 out of 4 now. So thank you for your efforts on my behalf.
Good.
And we are at the
Um,
last month before the Duke makes his decision. What is everybody doing?
I'm gonna try and seize control of the port.
Okay, 3 successes.
Yep.
They're going to get 2 successes to counter you, which is not enough. So the port quarter at the end of this week will fall to the Glasshook gang
You mean to Griffin?
under
Are they-
Griffin's supervision.
I gotta set up my mercenary group somewhere.
The Duke's going to make his proclamation, right?
Yep, end of the week.
I want to get a heads up on what the Duke is going to be doing. If there's any loose lips around there.
You will need 3 successes to get information pertinent to what the Duke is going to do, but absolutely, go ahead and roll.
No, that's not 3.
As loose as the lips are at the lower levels of court, the Duke's personal servants are not talking. Got a bunch of people that have opinions, though, which you do find out. The general consensus that the Duke is kind of at a standstill. Nobody's been able to pick up what decision he's going to make. Keep in mind there is one guard that you guys are still in a tiff with.
Actually, I could slander that guard. I'll do that. We're being paid to fuck with the guard. That's 3 successes.
And he blocks none of it. Whatever you said about him, it's stuck.
It's pretty easy to have the guard look like they're beating the downtrodden.
Gang is sick of them, and this is the last guy left.
I will round up Glasshook gangs. We got to defend our territory.
Right now, they are riled up.
You got this.
That's 2 successes. What is Eldrick's influence?
3.
The 2 successes means you get a underling with a rating 1 less than your influence. You've got a rating 2 military unit. You have managed to gather together all of these upset, ready to riot peasants. And they are angry about all of this harassment they have been dealing with.
How are these folks getting into the cave complex? 1 route, 2 routes, 10 routes?
You know 4 or 5 routes. They're probably still at 2.
Are they present there at night?
Yeah. They're currently, quote unquote, occupying it. As in they have a military force defending it.
Okay, and are they defending the inside, the outside? How's it work?
The cave complex holding is defended.
Okay, so they're inside defending from outside.
They're basically all over, so they're both.
So they've taken over the whole thing. We've lost our total presence there.
Yes.
I think we should focus on the entrance and exit points because those are the chokeholds. Are most of them inside, most of them outside, half in, half out? What am I looking at? What's the situation?
You don't have a scouting report.
All right. I'm going to try to find choke points, both inside the caves and the 2 entrances. So I'm going to try to reduce to the smallest number and focus my forces there and steal these guys inside and just kill them on their way out. And I'm going to try to kill everybody on the top.
Okay.
Take it back.
You are attacking the cave complex with the intent to take one of their known entrances and preventing them from leaving.
And I know the inside of the cave, so I'm looking at having a force, block up exits. I want to trap them. I want to starve them.
Okay.
If they try to come out, I'm going to kill them.
So you're going to make a military attack roll.
Oh, 1 automatic failure. That was not a good time for that. What are my modifiers?
Looking that up right now. X-Supply line, sabotage advances. Oh, mass combat. Here we go. Standard blitz. Rating, glory. You have rating 2 fronts.
Oh, my glory's 6.
Okay, so it's a 2-2-6.
Okay, so 7, 9, and then an automatic fail.
And they're going to fight back.
Ah,
They managed to defend the cave complex to fight your strategy. They got 2 successes. We're not going to play out the entire combat because we're out of time. I will take that to suggest that they successfully fought off your invasion.
damn it.
So Stonemeyer still controls the cave complex. Elgrit was defeated. However, the nobles that cut the deal with Gareth followed through on their deal, mostly because they because they have the support from the majority guard faction, and the harassment against Glass Hook Gang, or the Shattered Hook, comes to an end. The Port Quarter falls under the auspices of Don Griffin, as he is come to known over the course of the next few months, allowing Griffin to set up a secondary aspect of your gang. You guys lose the cave complex, but you gain a new quarter. As to the Duke makes his announcement, and the decision to move funds from the Navy to the militia is vetoed. The Duke decides to continue things as they are. And there ends the final saga for the PCs of the Glasshook Gang and the gangs of Hammerbow. Thanks everybody for playing. Thank you, Abacus Fish, for hosting us. People enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was pretty. I like some of those twists and turns, and the Stonemeyer actually going after your ancestral caves, and yeah, no, that was good. This is the third and final episode of this arc. We will be hopefully doing something else with this group. We'll figure it out later down the road sometime. But until then, if you wanted to keep up on all serious RP streams, the best way to do that is to give this channel a follow. Alternatively, you can join us on social media, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, where we also do stream announcements. There's also the website, shatteredempire.net. Shattered Empire is a post-apocalyptic interstellar synthwave-fueled tabletop RPG. If you go to the website, you can get the free alpha. The alpha has everything you need to make a character, and if you're a crafty enough game master, you might be able to make your own campaign. So check that out. Thank you, James. Thank you, players. Thank you, viewers. This is Abacus.